Hey, Katyoparty here. The last video I did was my very first acrylic pour, and since then I've done a few. So I wanted to just show some of the results that I have gotten. This was the first one. It's all dried, and I used, what did I use on this to seal it? I used Gloss Medium and Varnish by Liquitex. Which I was pretty happy with, but I have tried another thing since then. And I think part of it really had more to do with my surface than with the product. I used canvas panel because I have some of those that I bought really inexpensively. So, you know, you can see, I don't know if you can tell, try to figure it. You can see a little bit of the pattern of the texture of the canvas panel. And I think, you know, maybe that happens too with, if you do it on regular canvas, or maybe because my amount of paint was just right, not a lot left dripping off. But anyway, I was very happy with this first pour. I didn't get a lot of the big cells like I see here. I'm going to put it the same orientation it was in the video. I didn't get a bunch of these huge stretchy cells, but I was super, and I still am, super happy with my result. I used the primary elements. I used Liquitex paints, and I used pouring medium with a little silicone. So this is my result here, and it just has, especially in the sunlight when I was outside looking at it, you can really see the shimmery, beautiful, especially here in like these brown, the primary elements just really came through. And so it's very shimmery. It's just got a lot of movement. I got some little bitty cells. I mean, honestly, I was really pleased with this first result. So, so that's that one. You can just see it's very shiny. So that's that one. Okay, I'll show you my second one. Second one, I used different colors. It's very vibrant. I used primary elements. I have, let me see, I think I have like 6 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 6 colors. And this one, same deal, canvas panel. You can see it's just certain areas you can really see the primary elements, like through here, here. I mean, they come through throughout, but I mean, it's very, I want to keep it in camera, but and I don't want the glare. So I'm just gonna, I'll move it and see. Okay, there. See how that is through here? And then the best spot, I think, of all. Actually, you can see it through the pink too, but it's just more vibrant in person. But this really shows the beauty of the primary elements. And I was happy with this. Not a lot of supercell action or anything, and I do have some pitting. But I don't know, I just like texture, so I'm just looking at it as part of the beauty of the piece. And this one I tried a flip cup. So this one was pouring the concentric rings and then, you know, just kind of swiping through. You can see it on my last video. This one I tried the cup and it just, so you know, I was pleased with this result. And one thing I can say is that the canvas panels, they did start to bow, but I noticed as they dried, they flattened out. And also once they were pretty stable, I laid them flat off the cups instead of having the cups underneath. So they ended up, you know, drying really pretty flat compared to, you know, how it looked at another point. On this one, I used some spray, Krylon Kmart varnish. So I used the spray on this, and I would say, you know, as far as the shininess, I kind of like the one that I did the brushing on. However, you can see, you know, I don't know if everyone could see, but for sure I noticed some brush marks. So I don't know. I you know, I like the texture and stuff. I think it adds to it. So there's those two. Okay, so I was pretty pleased, you know, feeling happy with myself about the pouring. And then I did a third pour. Now this is the after. Haven't sealed it yet. What you see in the whole background, the just kind of brown, flat, yucky, ugh, it was not going well. What I did differently was I tried to use as I mixed the Lindy Stamp Gang Magical Grab a Guy Gold. I love this color. I've used it in a lot of other projects. And so I tried mixing some of that. Well, it just dulled down, and, you know, it's not a good medium to use in acrylic pouring. The primary elements have just some wonderful qualities that keep them floating and iridescent, and so that was my experiment gone wrong. I love Lindy Stamp Gang. I love Magicals, just not in this application. So then I decided, well, I need to fix this somehow. So I then sprayed some mist. I slung some gold ink all over it. And this right here, the swiping gold, that is actually some alcohol ink that I had. And I was like, what the heck? I was using it anyway. So I used the Jacquard Pinata alcohol ink and rich gold. See, it's all separated right now, but so that is what that slinging is. I don't hate the result. And so then as this dried, I just kept adding stuff. Oh, I tried some what are these called? Irresistible, the Pico embellishers. I did some black. I added some blue Aida ink. You know, I did bronze. I just slapped on a bunch of stuff, and then at the end I took some silver. What the heck? I can't even remember what I did. But anyway, so I'm gonna seal this, make it shiny, and you know, it is kind of a cool abstract piece, but it was just a real dog of an acrylic pour. So don't try to mix other pigment powders. I heard Anne-Marie Riddoff say not to do that, but I thought, well, maybe she didn't try this one. So anyway, lesson learned. And it did turn out kind of cool. I'll put some sealer on it, and hopefully it'll shine it up and maybe bring out the colors. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad there. Then, let's see, I did another, this is a little one, even littler, bolder colors, really bold. Primaries, red, yellow, blue, white, and black. And actually, I'm in the wrong order. Go back. Undo, undo. Okay, the first one I did was this, bigger. I was getting a little braver. 8 by 10. Primary colors, red, yellow, blue, black, white. And I did a flip cup on this. Okay, so it turned out kind of cool. You know, I was getting a little cell action here and there. So that was encouraging, and I honestly, I do think this turned out pretty well. I have sealed it. You know, a little more white speckling than I wanted, but I did get some really cool, you know, forms and content, and I mean, I am adoring like the whole instant gratification of pouring the paint or you know, whatever, and then it just starts going crazy. That is awesome. Anyway, so that's that one. So what I did was I had some paint left over, very little bit, but I had this little tiny, this is super old, this is a 5x7 that I bought in a huge lot at a thrift store. So these are, I don't even know, from the 70s probably. Anyway, so I used my leftover paint, just poured it like this. I didn't even do a flip cup because I didn't have enough. And actually, I'm so happy. Look at this. It came out with some really cool, like tiny cell action, bigger. You know, I'm thrilled with this. I wish it was bigger, but I thought maybe I could take some photos of this, maybe, you know, use the prints to make something. Anyway, super cool. Super cool. Very happy with this. Just, I don't know. I just love it, looking at it. Okay, then I moved on. I've been trying to do like 1 or 2 pours in the mornings. It's kind of cool down here today, but for several days it was like 98, 100. And my upstairs gets hotter than downstairs, so this one I did a flip cup. I used, I'm using all Liquitex paints because that's what I have. And then I may explore getting some other brand, but this was a flip cup dirty pour. And I really like this. Immediately it started popping up with cells, big cells. But then as I tried to manipulate it, off the side they went. Stanley, no, my little dog, hold on one sec. He can jump on this little day bed here, but he always wants me to lift him up. He's crazy. Or I'm crazy for doing it. Anyway, so I did get some cell action going, but I mean, just the movement of the paint and everything, I was very happy. The only thing that I do not like about this one is I was trying to break up this blue, and so I picked up some of the paint off of the, you know, the dripping, and I just dripped it, and it turned out, I thought, okay over here. Well, when I did it here, it didn't spread like I wanted, so I just, when I look at this one, all I can see is that area right here that I don't like. But I do love all this. I mean, it's really pretty. The colors look really pretty. And, you know, I don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it either. Haven't sealed it yet. So we'll see, you know, when I seal it, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll be more happy with it. So there's that. Okay, then I decided, okay, you know, been doing this for a little while. I think, oh, I want to show you just one thing here. Let me reach it. Oh, excuse me. I had some leftover paint from this pour, and I just didn't want to waste it, so I grabbed a sheet of Yupo and cut it into you know, a small enough piece, and I poured the rest of the paint on here. Now this I actually liked better than the other. I'll show you up close. It's got some cool movement, and you know, just the colors are really pretty, oceany, which I love. Got some cool cells. When it dried, I can see like this ridges here, So not totally sure what causes that, but what I'll probably end up doing with this is, I don't know if I'll seal it. I guess I'll maybe test a little bit and try that. I'll probably cut this and use it in, I do cards, greeting cards as well, and everything else that I do. So I'll probably use this somehow in some cards or mixed media, other mixed media pieces. So anyway, but it's kind of cool. And then I also use some leftover paint from, I don't even know what, probably the disaster one. And I just poured it on here. It's all black and white actually. And then I added in some gold afterwards. So this is very textural, and I just, you know, didn't want to waste the paint, so I thought it was kind of cool. It's Silk's acrylic glaze that I dabbed and smeared and whatever on here, so I'll use that for something. But anyway, so after all that, I decided that, you know, I'm ready to do an actual canvas. So I did a canvas. And I was so completely disgusted, and it was just so bad. So I tried to fix it doing something I saw Leslie Onstadt do, which her first attempt did not, well, her first attempt went really well, but she didn't film it. Then she tried to recreate it. It did not go well at all. Then she did, you know, recreate it, but anyway, so I thought of that. I thought I'll try it. So I tried to do the adding the color and then swiping across. Well, it just pulled the paint. It was awful. So then I tried to, do a similar kind of a, you know, dripping and blah, blah, blah. Still hated it. So I did another pour over it, using those beautiful blue colors, blues and greens and whites. And this is the result. I don't hate it, but it's, you know, I'm probably going to gesso over this and try again. And it got this weird crack here. There were alcohol inks and some bright colors underneath this, and so some of them started coming through. I don't know. Don't hate it. Don't like it really too much. So this is a twice done canvas. That's going to be a 3 times done canvas here, but I just wanted to show, you know, the learning curve that I'm on. So this one started out with really beautiful big cells over here right off the bat. And I probably should have let them set a while, or maybe tried to manipulate them this way. But in my process of trying to move the paint, they right off the side. And that was really the most interesting part. So, so I'm not going to be discouraged and, you know, give in, give up. I actually went, I'm really excited, I went this morning and bought some Floetrol. So I'm really excited to try a pour or two with the Floetrol and with some of the things I've learned. So I will say goodbye for now. Here, I'll put the good ones up so the last thing that we all remember is the ones that I really was pleased and liked. And I'm going to do my pours. I'll film them and cross my fingers, and I'll post what happens next. Thanks. Bye.